Hey everybody, my name is Daniel, and this is why I gave Ad Astra an A-. Ad Astra takes place in the near future when Earth is threatened by energy surges of antimatter. The military have tracked the antimatter surges to Neptune and have sent Roy McBride, played by Brad Pitt, to go over there to find his father. Roy's father spearheaded a project that was searching for extraterrestrial life, and it just so happens that the father's last known location coincides with where the energy surges started. So, Roy's gotta travel over there and find his father and put a stop to these solar system threatening surges. I was on Twitter and I was worried, given the lukewarm reactions, that Ad Astra was gonna be this obtuse, abstract movie. But I thought director James Gray balanced out the sci-fi genre and the art house ambition really well, to the point where this movie's not only about the search for extraterrestrial life, and it's not only about seeing what the future could possibly be, but it's also about the sins of the father, and it's also about how a lifetime of unchecked trauma can really send you into like this extremely dark depression. It's not suicidal, but this movie really understands what it's like to feel so numb. And that's what Roy is. He's kind of a man that's not necessarily lonely, because lonely would suggest that he misses interaction with other people. It almost feels like the only person Roy can talk to or wants to talk to is himself. So you hear a lot of voiceover from Brad Pitt, who's giving a phenomenal performance. This is something I was missing from Ryan Gosling in Blade Runner 2049. When you look at Brad Pitt, you know exactly what he's feeling at the time, and he's just a more, I guess, I don't know if he's more seasoned or if this role is just written a little bit better. With those voiceovers, you really get a sense of who this guy is, that the only person he feels like he can entertain is himself, and for everybody else that he talks to, he's just kind of playing the part. He's playing what they need or what they want him to say. I don't know, I just really enjoyed the way this was crafted. I love James Gray's view of the future. I'm a big fan of sci-fi that doesn't look like a sci-fi movie. I like whenever sci-fi lets you kind of explore the mundane elements of the world, like when people fly commercial flights to the moon, or whenever there are road signs while they're driving in a buggy on the moon. The way that people pay for things. Just little touches of stuff just energized the geek in me, and I had a really fun time. I was, getting worried, like I said, that this movie would kind of get really slow and very Kubrick-y, but I found that there was always something interesting to look at, whether it be the extraordinary compositions playing with shadows and intense light and constant moving colors of light and shadow. I just had a blast looking at this film. And then there'd also be something like a firefight that breaks out and you're like, wait, what? When did this happen? Or you'd see some kind of really tense, spooky, almost like, this is a bad example, but Dead Space type action that goes on in this film. It's not an action film, it's not like The Martian or anything, but you do get these moments of that, and I feel like all of this blended with the character work that Brad Pitt was doing, I just thought was extraordinary and really fun to watch. Ever since the news that the BioShock movie had kind of fallen off the face of the earth, and Guillermo del Toro seems to be preoccupied with so many projects, whether it be directing or producing, I've been looking for someone who I think could really nail the tone of a BioShock movie, and I think James Gray definitely has it. He is able to handle these heavy adult themes and these complex characters, but also give that sci-fi genre panache that you need. I love the production design here. I love just looking in the background and seeing how the light works with that design, and it's just to die for. I also love the score, which is not, I wouldn't say revolutionary, but there's just something about it that's very comforting and just kind of drones on in the back. I don't know, it's light. And I felt this movie was light. I know a lot of people are saying this one was a slog to get through, but 2 hours for me felt just right. I felt the pacing was on point, and there wasn't any extraneous information. I felt like every little piece really helped us either get into Roy's psyche, which can be totally messed up with all the time that he spends alone, or just you getting to experience this world. I don't know, I was just really giddy and kind of excited for the first part of this, and then when I started kind of feeling for Roy and I started understanding where his depression comes from and how similar he is to his father, that stuff really kind of opened me up. And by the end, the movie ends on this emotional note that like really got to me. I wasn't going to cry like I did for the farewell, but for something like this, I was expecting to be satisfied. I didn't expect to be kind of swept up in the feels, so to speak. So yeah, I really enjoyed everything Ad Astra had to offer. I may be in the minority on this. I don't really know, because it seems like critics are digging it, but the audience isn't quite. So I'd say if you're on the fence with this one, it's definitely a good mix between something as weird and abstract as 2001, but something as goofy as like a regular sci-fi movie. It's kind of in the middle, leaning towards Kubrick. So if you're interested in something like that, I definitely would suggest you go. There was a decent chunk of people in the audience, and they seemed to like it fine, so I think you'll likely enjoy it as well. But thank you very much for watching. If you want to keep learning and talking about movies with me, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. But right now it is time for you to choose your own adventure between one of these two videos. On the left, you've got my collaboration with Subjective Cinema, where we fan cast the X-Men and the MCU. And on my right, I give y'all a little 5-step guide as to how Rotten Tomatoes works. So, you've got a decision to make, choose your own adventure, and I'll see you next time.